Zard Show. Welcome to the Zard Show. We're gonna talk about music and do a whole lot of and conversate about politics. No, we're not. Sponsored by corporate bonuses. Sponsored by shrinking middle class. Sponsored by unhealthy work-life balance. Sponsored by unchecked capitalism. Sponsored by every you're somewhat manic host, Zard.
Matter.
Okay, I feel bad because I just ruined your whole intro.
No, this is a good intro.
Okay, and now I'm ruining it further. So just go.
Yeah, all right. So welcome to the Zard Show. STEPHAN, am I saying that correctly?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. So STEPHAN is a 20-year-old producer, singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist from Charleston, South Carolina, which is the really important Monopoly place.
Oh yeah.
He's also a lead singer in the band Current Blue, which has garnered millions, all caps, of streams, in addition to his solo career. Anyway,
are you reading this off my Spotify right now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. I just wanted to
How original, dude.
Maximum shade.
Yeah.
So basically, this is kind of just going to be a linear progression as far as interviews go. I just kind of want to go into the background and then your current spot and then maybe the future of your project,
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I just kind of want to talk about okay, so where did you start? How did you get into music?
Honestly, I started playing instruments. I feel like I give a different answer every time I get on an interview. But I think the first time I picked up an instrument was, I don't know, fourth grade, maybe. Started playing piano. I hated it, so I moved on to guitar. I've been playing guitar for about 10 years now. And in high school, me and my friends would the current members of Current Blue, we would we'd just kind of jam and just kind of mess around, and we would try to start a little band, and it was a freshman year band, so it kind of sucked. But I think it was once I started, once I got into college, I started taking music more seriously, and I hated my life. So I was I gotta do what I love. So I started making music. Started making music with my friends, and it succeeded. So I dropped out of college, and here we are.
Cool. Did you go to the local college in the South Carolina area, the Charleston area?
No, not the good one. No. Yeah, I went to it was I don't want to name drop.
Okay.
But it was a local technical college, and it was pretty garbage. It was pretty bad. Yeah.
So you picked it up as a kid. You're kind of messing around, and then all of a sudden you meet other people in college or people in your local hometown or whatever, and you're like, okay, let's start a band.
No, actually, so I knew the guys that I'm in the band with now, Yuki, Austin, and recently Matt. I did meet Matt in college, but Yuki and Austin are drummer and bassist. Yeah, so I've been friends with them for probably about 5 years. They're my closest friends, actually. They're the homies. Typically, I think this is one of the first interviews I've done where Yuki isn't with me. He's we are together 24/7. We're a package deal. But yeah, no, I met them pretty much as soon as I moved here.
They started hating your life, drinking, massive 32-ounce Red Bulls, and just kind of getting, and
yeah.
So you meet these people, right? And then so you start producing music with them, or you have these friends that you said that you're best friends. So you had in the past, but then how do you get into production? How do you start, making this thing coalesce?
Yeah. So when I started producing in high school. I started out as a rap producer. Mm-hmm. And I still I produce a lot of rap, and just for fun, just for my local friends and stuff. And that's always kind of been my starting point, So I guess that was probably 10th grade. Maybe I was 16, in high school. I just started making like beats and stuff, and I just taught myself. I started with Logic Pro, and which is like still it's kind of my home base. And then eventually, like I like went up to Ableton and just kind of started teaching myself production. And it's a great outlet for anybody who's like thinking about like producing or whatever. It's like very, very unrewarding, but at the same time very rewarding. Like it's crazy. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun, especially if you're good with computers and stuff.
I think it's awesome. And then every once in a while, like especially when you're first producing, you'll have that moment of you'll make something that sounds maybe 10% good, and then you just go crazy. And you start all your friends, you're like, yo, Travis Scott type beat, check this out.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I was that guy. I'd be like making beats with like accordion sounds and like the Beethoven trap beat. It was like the worst, like most ass beats. Well, like I thought I was like on a new wave, but yeah.
So so now you're producing in high school, and then you meet these people like in your college kind of depression days, and you're like, all right. So you're making, like you said, this Yuki guy. He's like your number two. He's probably the one that you're kind of bouncing a lot of.
He's my number one, dude. He's my guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're producing music, but like you said, you're making trap stuff. You're kind of just experimenting and like getting ready in your producing career. But how do you transition? Like so I guess first we're gonna talk about this. This is the band Current Blue. It's a second side question about this, but so this is the first project is Current Blue is coming out. So this is like the progression of your career, right? Because it's Current Blue, then it's your solo project, right, Stephan?
No, actually the opposite.
Okay.
Yeah. So and a lot of Current Blue's music is just me, but branded as Current Blue.
Okay.
So, which is kind of weird, but I guess you could think about it like Kevin Parker and Tame Impala. It's like very similar, except like for example, like 6 Speed was just me, Antisocial was just me, but DayTrip was like myself and Yuki. So like typically like that's kind of like I'll write stuff, and then like get their input, and we just kind of like it's a weird collaboration process, but it works. So
right.
So yeah, I think I released my first music before Current Blue, and that was like December 2018.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was college.
Let's scrap the Current Blue. I'm trying to find that formation story, but let's go back. So now so you're making stuff, you're making trap beats, you're making all sorts of stuff like that. But then you decide, hey, I like this bedroom pop thing. So you're like, okay, tell me how like you released your first song for Stephan. Like tell me like what is it? Like how do you decide you want to produce indie? Like how do you go down that rabbit hole?
Yeah, I guess like I started out like listening to. When I was in high school, I listened to like a lot of Boz and Choker and like music that was like kind of genre bending. Like it wasn't necessarily like, I listened to a lot of rap, but I grew up listening to like indie, and like a lot of alt rock and stuff. And I was trying to record like rap vocals and do like an R&B type thing, and I was just like, this shit is just not working, because I tried for years, and I was like, I can't sing good enough to be like, and I can't really rap, so I was like, what am I doing? And I was like, why have I never tried the indie thing? And so I think I heard a song by Dijon. I don't know if you're familiar, but huge bedroom pop influencer, and I heard a song by Dijon, and I was like, well, I could do that. So I made like my first single, and which in hindsight is not good, but I wrote Up All Night in college, and then it got, I don't know, a few thousand streams, and I got a big head and thought I was Billy Idol or some shit. So I just kept writing music until it actually succeeded, and I was like, oh, this is what actual success feels like. So
all right, so we got kind of your origin story down, I guess, kind of. So there's a lot of holes in there. It's kind of
okay. If you need me to fill in holes, I feel like I've never gone this in depth. This is the most detailed interview I've had to date.
I just want to get some, so you're this music inspiration, like you said, you are starting to produce indie music. You're like, oh yeah, you tried the rap thing for a while, you tried the sings for a while, it wasn't really hitting, and then you wanted to put something out. So you just chose like your first name. You're like, all right, Stephan. Like, how did you start on that? Like,
so people who have listened to my music like for a long time will know that I didn't start off as Stephan. I started off as my full name, which I find clunky and awkward to say. So eventually I just shortened it to Stephan. So like I don't go by my whole name anywhere anymore, just because like it just causes confusion.
You shortened it. And so that's one of the things I thought was interesting is, so I go by Zard, Z-A-R-D, but there's also like famous Japanese singer in the 1990s who like completely fucks up all my SEO.
Dude, I hate it.
So I hate it. That's what I'm wondering. Like, you picked this Stephan moniker, which is again has garnered millions upon millions of views, especially on the Spotify bio. But
you love that part.
Yeah. So it's like you picked this name. I don't know if it was a reason, or how do you get around sort of the roadblocks of the SEO, people trying to find you, and is that why you made Current Blue?
I'll be honest with you, Zard. Yeah, no, it's pretty tough because there's this guy. If I ever meet him, I'm gonna fight him. There's this dude, and his name is Stephan, right? But he doesn't capitalize his whole name. He's like this obscure jazz guy from like 2006 who had a career and then decided, he got all of his SEOs up, and then he decided he was just going to quit music. So he is still siphoning my search. You know what I'm saying? Like I Google myself, just to see sometimes, and I'll be like the 13th result down from this guy who doesn't even make music anymore. And it was all like instrumental to begin with. I'm like, dude, no hate on instrumental music, but it was just like weird, like noise jazz music. I'm like, dude, it's really frustrating. But that is the cool thing about Current Blue, though. You're right. Is like you type in, I would type in Current Blue and it would like just be like current blues songs.
Right.
But now it'll auto populate to current blues songs. So I'm like, hey.
Okay. Yeah, that's the thing I was kind of wondering is it's interesting how you have both of these things, and it's really effed up because I listened to DayTrip, which is like your most popular song. People don't know it's like your biggest one, and I thought forever that this was Current Blue, and so before I even met you, I was like, oh, I love the song, and then I saw it on your page, and I was like, I couldn't figure it out. I was like,
yeah, no, it's super confusing. It is super confusing for people. Like, basically, I did it like that because, like, when I wrote DayTrip, like, I started off during, like, I forget what was going on that day or whatever, but, like, I was just, like, in my free time, like, in between, it might have been in between classes or something, and I just, like, I threw down, like, this drum loop, and from this French producer guy, I think I grabbed it out of a sample pack or something, and then skewed it, chopped it up, and then threw the guitar down on it, like the chords, and then I went over to Yuki's apartment, and I was like, "Yo, I made this song," and he was like, "Dude, we gotta like do something with this." So he came over, and he recorded like a solo on it. He recorded the bass line. I recorded vocals, and I kind of did it as myself because I was already trying to establish a career as myself. But Current Blue, we only created Current Blue because Yuki and I wanted to be in a band, right?
Oh.
So like Current Blue was made just for DayTrip. Like that was the whole point of Current Blue, was just so we could have something together. But if it flopped, then I would still have it as myself, and we wouldn't have to like take it down as Current Blue, if it flopped or something. So it was kind of a way to like kind of, you know, not put all our eggs in one basket, I guess. So if that makes any sense at all.
Because, yeah, it does. So the thing about the song, the DayTrip song, is like, okay, so we got to go into that because that's one of the things I really wanted to touch on. So you started that, and so you said you had that kind of cut up. Did you use like a simpler or a sampler to get that kind of chopped and screwed, and then you put the rest of it together?
Yeah.
And
yeah. So oh no, you're cutting out. You're cutting out, Charles.
Oh no. What about now?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you now. Okay, we're good. Okay, run that by me one more time.
Okay, so you started out, you said you were in class, you cut class, you made this drum loop, which is like cut and screwed in like a simpler or sampler, it seems like, because it keeps on jumping around. And then you took that EP and you're like, all right, let's make the, well, he's like, I love this song, let's make this song.
Yeah.
You recorded most of the other instruments for it, and then you just, and then tell me about the vocals, because some of them it seems so chilled out and like, is it just kind of just off the top? Did you freestyle that? Like how much?
Yeah, I freestyle part of it. Yeah. So the drums I got from this French producer. He's like just incredible. If I can find him later, because I follow him on Instagram. If I can find him later, I'll send it to you. Send you a link. But basically, he heard the song later too. Like he had heard of it and he recognized his own drums, and he was like, "Oh my god, did you sample me?" And I was like, "Dude, I hope that's okay." And he was like, "Dude, I don't want anything." He was like, "I just wanted to say that." I was like, "That's super cool." And he was super cool. But I'll send you a link to him. He's cool. And yeah, so Yuki came over and like I already had like some chords and the drums laid down. Which I just kind of chopped them up, you know, and yeah. So Yuki just threw down the bass, threw down the solo, that legendary solo. God, I love that solo.
So I know.
I could never, but yeah. And then the vocals, I just I freestyled part of them, and yeah, I just was going for like just super laid back, like drugged out sound, just because that was the vibe. So
yeah, that was the vibe. No, it feels like the way it's constructed as someone who's a musician seems like the way the vocals flow seems too chill. It seems like if you're trying to write down lyrics and then record them, it never comes out that organically in the way you reiterate them.
Well, I appreciate that. Most people are like, why does it sound like he's speaking reverse? That's what I think. Like the first time my mom heard me sing, she was so confused. She was like, I remember she just kept saying, she was like, "That's not you. That's not you. That's not you." And she'd be like, "Why does it sound like you're in reverse?" I'd be like, "Mom, I'm just singing."
I'm going to share one of my things on my screen right now. Can you tell me about this?
Oh, okay.
Tell me about the album art for this.
Okay, wait. Is the podcast is gonna have video?
It's gonna have video right now.
Interview?
Yeah, it's just pointed at the.
Perfect. Okay, because this would be weird out of context. Okay, so
if anyone's listening on audio, if this becomes a podcast later off of just Instagram, this is just a album or the single cover for DayTrip. So, like, tell me about how does it told us? Like, I mean, just a weird picture. So go ahead. Okay, this is a very weird picture. This is odd.
It was taken by my good friend Ben Maiden, super talented photographer. And this is actually we had a group of friends that night, and we left the house and we were on this highway, and we just like pulled off, and we're lit up because there are like other headlights like in our face. Because I think it was Ben's car, he parked his car and showed the headlights on us. And we're sitting there, and like that white line in the background, that's like the line of a highway. And like, I forget what time it was. It was late though. And we're just sitting there, and yeah, because we needed a cover for DayTrip, and he was like, "Yo, pull over, like let's get a picture." And we sat there, and he took this picture, and yeah, that's that. Also, fun fact, it's the same night that we took the cover for 6 Speed.
Oh,
So yeah, because I don't know if you can see, I'm like wearing like a beanie.
that one?
Yeah, yeah, that's like the exact same night. I'm
No.
wearing like the same. Yeah, because like you see, like the hat is like I'm literally wearing the same thing. But yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and that is my car that I'm sitting in, which is a BMW. It's not a 6-speed, but it is a BMW. People always call me out. They're like, "Dude, it's a 7-speed automatic." I know.
Yeah, I was wondering about this. See, this is what I'm also was wondering about, because so 6-speed is the second most popular song on Spotify, and I was just like, these look it's very strange, the toggling between the two of them. I was like, what's up with this dude in cars?
Yeah, I like car. I don't know why. I don't know what it is with indie guys and cars, man. But I just love my car, I guess, and I love driving, and I just sing about cars a lot. Okay.
I just wanted to talk about also one more. You just released this new song. It's called "Dance Around My Room," and
yes, yeah.
you also have this photo. So tell me about this one. I think maybe you
Yes.
you left it up like this, but we're gonna flip it around so people can.
Okay, yeah. So it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Why did you upload it upside down? That's probably my first question. And then secondly, who is
I believe.
What is going on? Why are you guys drinking Dasani? Come on.
Okay, so that's a picture of my girlfriend Hannah. Shout out Hannah, love you Hannah if you're listening. Yeah, that's my girlfriend Hannah, and she is literally dancing around the room. That's inside of her apartment actually. And I think I got the idea to make it like upside down. I'm trying to think. It's either ASAP Rocky or Tiller had an album cover like that, but I don't know. So I thought, because like right side up, it's cool, but like upside down, I think just gives it like just like an interesting like visual. You know what I mean? It just gives you something to look at. Oh, I just see a picture of us on her mirror. There's a really, really tiny picture of me and Hannah like on the corner there.
Yeah.
Sorry, my girlfriend's like my best friend. I'm like literally.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, yeah. I can like analyze like so much shit in this picture. Yeah, no, but that's what that is. People have asked me a lot because it's kind of hard to see, but
also I've noticed the theme here. If you see on the top right corner, there's like this kind of film grain thing. Like, see this graininess in here?
Yeah.
What's that? Like, are you using something? What's that all about?
Just Photoshop.
Photoshop?
Yeah.
A filter? Is it just?
No, it's just I just use like the stock film grain in Photoshop.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to take pictures too. That's like another hobby of mine. I don't really do it as much as I should. I mean,
you're a full-time musician.
Yeah, I guess part-time musician.
Part-time,
I guess. Yeah.
We're going back to this.
All right. Hey.
So,
oh, you're all big again.
Yeah.
I missed you. All right.
All right. So now we're going back to. All right. So DayTrip is recorded. It's you got this picture on the highway. At what point? This is kind of the midway through your journey. So what point do you start gaining traction? What's that moment like?
I think probably one of the biggest moments was we reached out to. I don't know if you're familiar with David Dean Burkhart.
Mm-mm.
Okay, well he's like a tastemaker on YouTube. He's like a curator dude. But he's done promotion for like Skin Shape, and I don't know, he just posts a bunch of indie bands, Yeah, he's great. And so I reached out to him, I emailed him, and I was like, hey man, I didn't even expect a response back because he's got like 500,000 subscribers. And I was just kind of a shot in the dark, and I was like, hey man, I just made this song with my friend. I was like, I hope you like it. Can you put it on your channel, please? I'm begging you. And I was like, please. I was like simping, and I sent it to him, and then in a matter of a few days, it got put on his channel.
Wow.
And I'd say I don't know how many views now. Probably like I don't know, not that many, like 40K maybe, I don't know. And then he like after that, like, because a lot of Spotify curators will watch. I don't know how many people are like familiar with this, but maybe it's common sense. I don't know.
I do nothing. So
okay, okay. Well, maybe this will help you. Like the like Spotify curators, like especially for bedroom pop, because it's kind of like the only thing I know about. They'll watch the tastemakers on YouTube. So like I'm Cyborg, but that's okay, or like Forrest or David Dean. They'll watch these people, and if they see something with like good, positive reception, or they hear something that they like, that's how they find new music, right, to put on their playlist. And so David Dean had linked us on Spotify's curation team, clicked the clicked the link, and they were like, oh, this is good. So yeah, one day I just checked my phone, I got an email, and it was like, congratulations, you've been added to Bedroom Pop, and we were at the very top. And that was when shit like I remember I screamed, and I called Yuki and Austin, and I was like, guys, I was like, we fucking made it. And I remember Austin, he answered the phone. He was like, what's up, man? I'm in a chemistry lab. And I was like, step out, bro. I was like, you got to hear this. And I told him, and he was just like freaking out. And yeah, man, that was like, it's honestly like one of the best days, because like I just knew, I was like, oh my God, dude. That's like just the best feeling. And like, yeah, I hope everybody gets to feel that, because it's just like the absolute best feeling. It's amazing.
That's interesting. So you said this David guy, an email, basically. That's how you got on his channel?
Yeah. And that's like, yeah, that's what I recommend you do. You just, because
out though before, or was it like, it was out for like a month or two, and then it kind of got no traction at all? I mean, I'm trying to figure out how much of a key like element this was. It
was pretty much the soul factor in the song and the band's success was literally all thanks to David Dean. Like, that is not even an exaggeration, but this complete stranger gave me my career.
Wow.
And like, I literally can't thank him enough. I can't thank the Spotify editorial team enough, just because like without that, there would be no anything. There wouldn't even be an interview right now, which is insane to think about.
Yeah, that's the kind of whole point that I've been getting at. I also like engineer, and I also talk to a lot of other people like in the scene and younger artists and things like that. And it just seems like so many people from Paul Cherry to Triathlon to a bunch of Michael Sayre. I know. I know.
Oh my God! Don't get me started, dude.
But they all got onto these like these Spotify. It seems unfortunately like you can put as much music out there as you want, but if you're not hitting the right channels or right influences or right places, it seems like it really is really honestly very sickening to know that it's one person, really. It's these algorithms or these Spotify playlists, and that's it. And that's really make or break for people's career.
Yep.
I know a lot of people who put out a lot of really solid, super solid indie music, and they just don't get anything. And it's like, I keep on figuring out my current strategy, which I think, I mean, you tell me about this as well, your thoughts, is just, I don't even think anyone should put out an album anymore. It's getting kind of strange. It's like, you need just to put out singles, and maybe just singles and music videos.
Go
ahead.
Yeah, I say, yeah, definitely. I don't mean to cut you off, but I definitely agree. I put out an album, and it did reasonably well. Nowhere near what I thought it would. But I mean, because like across the whole thing, I think it's close to 500,000 streams across the whole thing. But you figure like for 7 songs, and like only 2 of those were like blew up or whatever, whatever Spotify's algorithm does. It's actually not that fantastic. And if I had released them all as singles, then I probably would have had a lot more collective streams. So like I totally agree. And then, you know, I mean, I'll be the first to admit, bro, like, you know, Spotify algorithms and Spotify curators, tastemakers, whatever, absolutely will make or break your music. And like I've felt that so hard. Like I've had some music like even like my most recent EP, like will get like, you know, it's something I'm really proud of, but it might get like a song might get like 2,000 or 3,000 streams and that's it for like ever. That's just it, you know? And that I'm very grateful for those 2,000 or 3,000. Don't get me wrong, but like it does suck that Spotify's algorithms or really any music platform's algorithms are like the sole determining factor of your, you know, your career, you know. And I am very grateful, of course, for these tastemakers, curators, etc. But it's a weird system now, you know.
Yeah, no, dude, I totally feel you. It's a bummer. There's more and more people trying to put out albums. They keep on trying to figure out how to do it, and I think it's just maybe the shotgun approach of just. I was even thinking, I don't even know if you just go completely YouTube. If like I think the Peachy Rascals is these guys coming up out of California, and what they're doing mostly is every song they put out they have a video to, and it's like.
Yeah, dude, especially Mariposa, like that video is like just fantastic. It's fantastic. And like their Canvas on Spotify or whatever, I'm like, I'll sit there and watch it for like an hour. Yeah, but I'd say visuals are arguably just as important as, you know, as anything else now. I mean, yeah, like that is like huge for like artists coming up, and that's something I'm really lazy about. You know, like you gotta stay on that shit. I put a lot of time and care into my cover art because I want it to look like, you know, I guess cohesive. But you know, videos I'm just awkward. So I'm like when I do like dance, like do like a rap video where I'm like pointing at the camera, like I don't know what to do. You know,
right?
Like, I don't know.
So tell me about like what's the future for you? Because I mean, for Stephan or Current Blue, or you know, where are you going?
Well, actually, it's funny because like as soon as you called, I was working on a track for a new album. I just broke my own rule
for a new album, huh?
Yeah, I know. I'm an idiot. Yeah, no, because I literally just said like, don't put out an album, but I honestly like just the feeling of having something like I wouldn't dissuade it just because like having the feeling of having something so big and solid, because the EP was kind of felt dinky to myself, but then like the album was like shit, yeah, like that was nice. That felt nice to have something super complete and polished like that. So I'm kind of chasing that feeling again, not really for streams or anything, but just because I want to. And yeah, no, so that's what I've got in the works. I'm working on an album. I'm hoping to drop it around fall or something. I might drop it in the summer if it's done by then, just to have like exactly the same time of the year. Like maybe would be kind of cool. Current Blue has some cool singles coming out. We got a little surprise feature. So yeah, I'm pretty pumped, man. The feature's looking good.
Mainstream feature or indie feature in the realm?
I'd say mainstream.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, one more thing, going back to getting traction. So for your simple dancing around the room, what prep, if any, do you do? You know, do you use like Submit Hub? Are you like, do you email the tastemakers at the Spotify playlists or other? Do you have like a list, like a spreadsheet, and be like, hey guys, new single coming out, or just put it out at this point?
Honestly, like if I'm giving advice, like the biggest advice I would give is don't have a spreadsheet. Don't take a methodical approach to it. Because all you're gonna do is just piss people off and ruin a repertoire. Submit Hub is the exception because everybody on there is a dick. So I'm just kidding. I like them, but yeah, no, I do use Submit Hub, which is sometimes you'll get some really cool people on there, and you'll like actually make a connection. But I think really the biggest thing is don't make a song and then plan to drop it in a week. Wait at least 4 weeks. And this is like, nobody will really tell you this, but you wait like 4 to 5 weeks. That is like your sweet spot. I don't know why I'm giving away the secrets, but whatever. It's just like you wait like 4 or 5 weeks. You never contact Spotify about trying to get on a playlist. You submit like through their portal or whatever on Spotify for artists. Always use that. Never try to contact them directly because they'll hate you. It's just annoying for them, you know? And but I'd say like the biggest thing, like the biggest like key for me is like establishing a connection with people in the industry, you know, tastemakers, curators, etc. But not because you really like, not because you're trying to use them or anything, but just to have like a sense of community, you know, and like other artists, because other artists are going to have resources. You're going to have resources they don't have. Y'all can share, y'all can boost each other up. And that honestly is like such a huge help for me, is just like having a good community of artists around me. And like we can all just help each other, you know, promote for each other. And it feels really good, you know, and everybody can have a piece of the pie. So I'd say that is the biggest thing.
4 or 5 weeks. So when you're submitting on whatever platform, DistroKid, whatever you're using, you want to submit 4 or 5 weeks out. You don't want to. You're saying, oh, it's a big. The algorithm knows.
Yes, the algorithm doesn't like you if you don't wait.
Oh.
Actually, if you don't submit to Spotify's thing, with like I think it's 7 days in advance. There's no chance that you'll get on Discover Weekly or whatever.
Wow.
Like it is algorithmically impossible. And then for certain distributors and stuff, the 4-week mark is to make sure that you have a hard deadline, like a hard release. Because if you don't before the 4 weeks, which I think they tell you that on DistroKid, like you're not guaranteed to release. And if you don't have a timed release, basically if the platform doesn't know when you're going to release it, they're not going to playlist you. And that's the way that it was explained to me. And that I've always just followed that rule, and it's worked. So I mean, if that like can help anybody, then you know, like I hope it does.
I saw recently on your Instagram story that you got put on some playlist or some huge. Is that another editorial person?
Oh yeah,
just the audio?
yeah. No, that's that was Spotify. I got put on a couple playlists. I forget which one. I was on Softly. I think I am on Softly. I don't know if you like that one. I like that one. It's pretty good. Pretty sultry.
I'm more of a Lorem kid.
Okay. Yeah. That's my goal someday. Get on Lorem or Pollen. That'd be great. Yeah, and then I think I'm on Bedroom Pop now as well. But I'm on a few different ones. So shout out to Spotify. These guys.
Yeah, no. Yeah. There's no Apple Music playlists that are blowing you up.
That pisses me off. That pisses me off to like no end. Not that I'm not getting blown up, but the fact that Apple Music has like honestly has one of the worst platforms for artists, just because like it's like, how are you gonna get people to listen to your music if they're not already on Apple, like Spotify? Like if people own Spotify, there's a chance they'll be a fan, you know, you'll convert them to the dark side. But, you know, like on Apple Music, I don't really I don't know much about Apple Music, but I don't care to know much just because I know that it's not like Spotify. It's not super like deep dive.
Right. So as
There's
far as
not a whole lot
like
going on.
streams and revenue, do you feel like most of your streams and all that stuff, all your revenue is based off of like Spotify, or do you feel like there's like a universal spread between, or is like some weird, is Deezer, is that the one that's paying you the most? You know, you're getting like some smashes on Deezer.
Dude, yeah, dude, Deezer, bro, they be paying out, man. They be paying out. Dude, don't sleep on Deezer. Listen, no, I don't get a fucking dime from any of those weird services, especially not YouTube. You better believe I don't get a dime from YouTube. But Spotify is like probably like 98% of my income, which still isn't much, but especially without shows, I'm like, yeah, there's a reason I live with my parents. So I'm broke.
Music.
Woo! I'm a starving artist.
Yeah. So tell me about, so everything's blowing up on the Spotify, and that's all happening like early 2018, 2019 era kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that was like around February last year, maybe, when it started gaining some traction.
So tell me about your first show. What was that like when people actually showed up? And did you ever do a tour? Did you ever do anything like that?
Yeah. So first show we played New Year's of 2018, right after Up All Night came out, and I had a bunch of like, which is my first single. Don't go check it out. It was like I had like a bunch of like songs I wrote, and I grabbed Yuki because he plays drums. He's like God tier. And I was like, hey man, I've got all these songs. I bought a microphone, like a dynamic microphone. And I hit up Austin. I was like, hey, you play bass, right? You know, we used to play together in high school, like all the time. I was like, would you be interested in like playing with this band? And he was like, yeah, sure. So he came over, and we just learned all these songs together, you know, how to play them together. And so we went to a house party New Year's Eve, and it was actually the first time I'd been to a house show, because I'm homebody, and I like went to this house show and loved it. It was like I was like in my bag, like it was in like a new element. I was like, whoa, like, and it was really sick, and we had like a bunch of drunk people hanging out. We actually we met like our friend John Garcia. We just met like so many cool people, and it was like a really positive experience. And like I was like performing and like just like screaming and like, you know, like running out in the crowd, like playing guitar with everybody. And like I was like, that was like my first time performing ever, and like I just knew, I was like, this is incredible, like I love this so much, you know. And like being able to see people that love the music and like interacting with them is just like, it's a really nice feeling, you know.
It's dope, man.
Yeah, it's sick.
It's gone now.
My glory days. Thanks for the reminder, dude.
Yeah. All right, we're going to the last segment here, which is basically like the actual music creation. So what's your main, we're going to go over a couple bullet points. All right. What's your main DAW? What's some of your favorite plugins? Right. And
okay.
That's kind of the bulk. And also any gear. So it's
okay.
DAW, plugins, gear.
Okay. You ready for this? You ready?
I'm ready.
You ready? Okay. This is my synth baby. This is my mini log. I love it to death. I think it's the newer one. It was like a limited edition or some shit. And then this is my 404, which I adore. This is like I'll make most of my beats on this, you know, or like chop samples on it.
Right.
And then record into Ableton, and that's how I kind of do what I do, like that. So yeah, this is like, just because like the 404 gives it like this lo-fi crunch, and like it's just fire, and you can like fucking take it apart and customize, put it back together. Like you can do whatever you want to it. You can drive over it. You can do whatever. Thing's a tank. Yeah, I ordered that from Japan. I was like, I need one. Yeah, and then as far as plugins, like I usually don't get too complicated. I use Frontier, just like a compressor. I don't know if you know that one. I use Waves. I think it's a Waves plugin, the J37. It's a tape emulator, like an Abbey Road tape emulator. Yeah, and that's where I'll get a lot of cool modulation out of that. Most people use it like a delay, but I don't use it for delay. I use it for like I'll take the like the time, like the rate and everything, and just like crank it down. Kind of use like a flanger. I could go on and on about like hardware like all day, or like plugins and shit. But yeah, it's kind of like, that's typically like what I'll use, like the 404 and then like a J37. That's like my go-to like formula for drums and guitar.
And then all your vocals are recorded on that warm microphone you're holding?
Yeah. I think it's a WA.
DayTrip and everything else, that was all recorded on that, right?
No. DayTrip was recorded on an Amazon mic. Wow. I got for $12. So I think it was used.
Dude, it goes to show. I talked to Michael Sayer as well, and he tells me even his latest stuff, he just does the same thing. He has like a Telefunken or a very like cheapo microphone, and he just uses GarageBand. Dude uses GarageBand.
That's unbelievable. I mean, oh wait, hang on, you cut out.
But
okay, all right, you're back. That's insane.
I was blown away. I couldn't even talk to him for like 3 minutes after the show.
I recorded 6-speed. These.
No.
Not joking. In my car at my college parking lot outside of the psych class auditorium, whatever. Yeah, real shit.
That's crazy.
That's why it sounds like ass. So.
Love that track.
Yeah, dude. I want to meet Michael Sayer, dude.
That can be arranged.
It better be arranged, dude. I would kill. Yeah.
Good. And then that's it. So you got the gear, that all stuff, and then your DAW. You say, I've heard in other conversations that you use Logic to do. You open it up just to do comping, mixing, whatever, but then Ableton is your warp horse.
Dude, Ableton is like, that thing is a beast. It's like a Clydesdale. I use it for the heavy lifting and beats and stuff. Yeah, just because like I feel like Logic is, I really don't want to sound like an elitist, but it is like for heavy production, it's a little too simple, and not fall in the trap of being too simple anyway. It's like if I have a DAW that kind of forces me to be a little more creative with it, I'll take that, just because I'll Logic, if given the option, I'll just loop shit for 3 minutes and be like, that's it. But I want to give it a little more, complexity. So I'll typically, I'll produce in Ableton and then just record vocals in Logic because it's good for vocals. So
sweet. All right. So that's Stephan, a 20-year-old producer. No, I'm just kidding. That's the interview with Stephan. Thanks for coming on, man. That was super fun.
Yeah, of course, man.
Appreciate it.
That's been another episode of the Zard Show. Thanks for sticking around and being a part of my life. I appreciate you. If you enjoyed the show, go ahead and like and subscribe or share the episode. If you'd like to support me further, I have a Patreon, or you can donate at thezardshow.com. Remember to be kind, stay humble, and let your curiosity guide you to a better you.
See ya.